name of it now. Where is it at? I got all these courses. I can't sometimes always. Oh, Life Transformation System 1. I just put it back up. It's a 9-hour course to help you reach these other levels. Another one we have
is one of the things we should be doing every day. You said you got 7. Give us a sneak peek.
Draw a circle on the ground. Before you get out, when you wake up for the first 11 seconds, you have no idea who you are. You could be a ladybug, a stick, a mushroom. You don't know. You could be a pineapple. You're attempting to come back to consciousness. So now, as soon as you come back to consciousness, right? Don't just jump out the bed. Before you take your first step, see, step number 1 is knowledge. Your first step in anything is the knowledge of what you're stepping towards. You take your finger and clockwise make a circle, like an imaginary circle on the ground, and draw that circle. Don't step, don't do anything. Just draw the circle on the ground and put in the circle one thing that you desire today. What's your goal? You don't need to get out of bed till you get this together, bro. So it might be health, love. It could be just one word. It needs only one word. Don't put no deep stuff and have no whole long mantra. One word. Joy. Don't, happiness, I wouldn't use that because happiness is fleeting and it's a happening that it's going to happen and it might not happen and it's happened, but it's gone. Maybe joy, love, peace, forgiveness. These are great ones. Gratitude. A powerful one is gratitude. And you just draw that circle, make a circle, right? You could do 3, either do 3 circles or 7 on the ground. Big enough for you to step into. And you step into it. You just told every cell of your body. You just told the whole network, the hypernet, what your goal is for today. That's your first step. Your second step will be automatic because you just set up a rhythm. We now know what key. We now know the time signature. I mean, we need to know what, you got to give me the BPMs. What is the beats per minute of the song? We got to know that. This sets your rhythm. This sets your timing. This is your tuning. This is your tuning fork. That one thing changes everything. You could use that right now and everything begins to change. But there's 7 principles that we give you in that course. And I break down why. And when I'm teaching, I'm giving it to you and I'm speaking in many languages. I'm speaking kinesthetic, auditory, and visual. That's how you truly teach. It has to be kinesthetic, auditory, and visual because that's the gates into the subconscious. And then you also have to use hypnotic rhythm. So repetition of the kinesthetic, auditory, visual gateway is how things drop in deep inside of you. And another thing, you got to have the right use of imagination. See, that's another course that we have, right? It's up now too on the website. The right use of imagination is, see, you're imagining everything. Somebody told you some stuff and you can vision it. You can, envision it in your head. You're imagining it. They told you what's happening on the news today, the 6 o'clock news, and they tell you what's going on, and they show you some pictures. You begin to imagine it. And you think it's real because you've been getting hoodwinked since you got here. Your parents believed in the news. Everybody believed in the news. It's on the news. The other day, they said it was raining in my neighborhood. It wasn't a drop of rain. It was the sun was out. People was out with them. You ever see that? When people be out with umbrellas, it ain't even raining. Well, it's going to rain. There ain't no clouds. But you believe it. You follow it. You follow the lie. You're being the lie because you're so used to following what the mainstream says because you've become a part of the fold, the flock, the sheep. Once you begin to set yourself aside by creating your own imagination, look at the word imagination. Take that word. You know how many words you could spell out of imagination? I am a genie. I am a genie of nation. I am a nation. There's so many words. I did a class once just on the word imagination. We was there for 4 hours. Just on imagination. The right use of imagination. So if you imagine that you're the bomb, I know all this stuff. I got to go be deep today. I got all these followers and such, and you don't have any humility and any true love. You have crystallized that imagination, and that's who you are. That could be very disrespectful because you may not be operating at the level of true love. So when you start studying the the map of consciousness is where a lot of this comes from. When you talk about, high vibration and all that, that comes from kinesiology. Through muscle testing is one of the things that I do. Even when I'm formulating herbs, I'm muscle testing constantly, because when the muscle is strong, so I can do it just like this. If the muscle is strong, then I know it's an affirmative. If the muscle becomes weak, then it means it's not good for this moment or this time, or that thing is not good for me, or it's not good to put that amount. That's how I know how many drops of something to put in a solution. I'm not trusting my mind in what I've studied. I'm doing kinesiology, which is muscle testing. And the muscle becomes strong. That is the lie detector test. When they put all that stuff on you and they get a baseline, they ask you some questions, a couple lies and a couple truths, they get a baseline. Then when something is affirmative, that line is smooth, because there's your muscle is strong, but it's not struggling. When something is not affirmative, or something is a lie or not factual, what happens is you have to struggle to turn that into what you're calling truth. And the muscle becomes weak. It's called muscle testing, kinesiology. And there's many different types, you see. So when we begin to look at the map of consciousness, and this, a really good book is Power versus Force. This is a good start. Y'all see this?
I'm sorry, I was on mute. I literally was just about to ask you if you read that book. Oh, excellent book. I literally was. Then this shit is. I was about to ask you, and then you showed the book. It's crazy.
See what I'm saying? Because we're connected. It's the mycelium. See,
mycelium. Yeah.
But when you read the book, it's confusing, because the first half of the book is all science, man. This is like you start falling asleep, and he tells you. He says, "Well," because I got the book or audio book too, and he tells you the first half of this book we're going to work on the analytical side of your brain. It's going to be very technical. And then when we get to the center, we're going to be in between the left brain and the right brain. And at the end of the book, we're going to talk about intuition. And he actually teaches this way. Mm. So the book was, it was all right. But I actually used the techniques without the technology. But then there's another book by him, The Map of Consciousness Explained. That one breaks it down. It's you got to get a whole library. He's got a whole library of books. To be able to get this, these were studies that were done in the early, 20s and 30s and 40s and 50s. They were studying science for real. People really wanted to and desired to know some real facts here. And they weren't so much into trying to, brainwash, program people to be zombies. You know what I'm saying? Programming people to be to be drones. When you study this chart, there's a chart in this book on page 90. This is it all, y'all. The chart goes from 20 to 1,000. This chart. 20 to 1,000. It has to do with where you're existing, how you feel, how you look at life, and how you live. Your being. How are you being? The average person today, now remember 20 is the lowest on this chart. The average person today is below 1 on this scale of consciousness. Mm-hmm. Even our people that we are calling conscious. Look, 200, right? 200 in this book is when you're just permitting, you're just reached courage, what they call courage. And you're being empowered at 200. At 200, you can now go up to the higher dimensions. If you can't get to 200, which most people are at, like I said, less than 1, the ego and all of that keeps you in the pain body and who you think you are. And like I said, the disrespect for the world and the world at large, you cannot get to the higher dimensions because the mycelium keep you compressed and repressed and depressed because you're dangerous. They can't let you out there into these other dimensions out in space. That's why man can't really go to space. All this about how they really went to space. They just local. Oh, they went to the moon. Let me tell you something, bro. Don't let me go there. Never mind. Let me stay here. The level of love, pure love, is 500. One person vibrating at pure love will affect 750,000 people on the planet instantaneously. One person vibrating at pure love, even if it's for a second, sends a vibration through the mycelium network that affects 750,000 people. If 10,000 people, Brother Rich, could vibrate at pure love, if only for one night, this is what the song is about. If only for one night, if we could vibrate at pure love, 10,000 of us, every person in the world would be rejuvenated. Not forever, but they would receive the information that's vibrating, because the mycelium network is like a spider web. It's connected to everything. That's the only reason that we're still here, because there's usually people all over the world who are lighthouses who are emanating and generating pure love. Not love as a noun, a naming word. They're in the action of it. They're forgiving. If you can't forgive yourself, your family, and your friends for imperfections, because everybody's imperfect, you're mad at this person because they're imperfect? Well, he did this to me. See, you're never going to get there. You're very low on this vibrational scale, and you're affecting and making a cesspool of everybody around you. So what we're doing is we are attracting at this particular time 10,000 people. If you feel like you're one, we're working together. We're building a real community of lovers. True lovers. You can't be in love if you're still mad about what happened in the past and what happened to your relatives. You'd have to understand that that happened. Now what we're going to do is move towards an angle of light, an angel of light, and we're going to send a wave of energy through the mushroom that are everywhere listening to you, ready to react based on your point of view. When we reach this beautiful place of respect and honor, when we receive this energy that's coming to us, right, and we realize that we're gifted, when you realize that you are a phenomenon, when you realize that you have to be the cultural creative, you have to create something that's never been created before. I got a lot of notes here because, after you and I talked today, I said, Rich, be honest, I better write some notes. Man, I only read like 3 or 4 of the notes because it's too much. I have to stay connected to the vibration, and the vibration that you're emitting is the vibration of pure love. That's the only reason why I'm here with you. We're travelers together, because your countenance and your vibe is one of pure love. That don't mean you don't get mad some time and go off, and you know what I'm saying. And that's not what I'm saying. Is that you most of the time you've drawn your circle on the ground, and you're going through the total life transformation constantly every single day to reach a higher goal. It's going to be challenging. The higher you go, the more gravity's going to pull you. You know how when you start getting there, because people start talking about you funny, talking behind your back. They got gossip. Well, see, blah, 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 he such and such. And people are trying to argue with you and ask you crazy questions. Some folks call me, well, Dr. B, I don't agree with you. Well, you ain't got to call me and tell me you don't agree with me.
Like, okay.
Okay, you don't agree. You think all the mushrooms agree? It's mushrooms you eat that will take your ass up out of here before you finish chewing. Nothing in nature is in agreement, but they all have a system and they know their place. Don't call me with no BS. And don't call me with some long message. I said, well, what would you like? I'm going to give you 5 minutes on the phone. Well, see, Dr. B. And they start mentioning all the things they do not desire. Language is very important. We're going to talk about that on Saturday because we're doing part 3 of our a serious opportunity class this Saturday at 11 o'clock. And we're going to get a little bit into the language. You know, I went to this concert last night. So it was Sheryl Crow. And I was, you know, I never really was into her music. I don't highly remember her songs. But my friend Keb Mo was on the show. Keb Mo and I go way back. He's an amazing guitar player. Metaphysical brother. He's on a whole nother level. So I went to go, you know, support him. And, you know, he's into my herbs. And, you know, we go way back. We're friends. So I'm his herbalist. And he's my, you know, friend and confidant. And it was a sister who performed before them. And she was a really good singer. She was singing her behind off. I'm like, go on, sister. And then the last song, she says, I'm about to do a very cosmic, spiritual song. It's very important for all of us to say this song and to realize that this is a cosmic message. I said, okay, she about to go here. The song was, don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. She said, everybody say it with me. Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. I'm not saying this. What do you mean don't give up? How is that good to not give up? It's things you need to give up. It's things you need to let go. That sounds like a good statement. Don't give up. And it's do not. Do and not. Don't give up what? Don't give up that relationship that you've been in that's been eating you alive. Don't give up that food that's giving you parasites and you eating toxoplasma in every meal. Don't give up that bad anger, you know, hate and, you know, judgment, vibration. Don't give that up. What do you mean? Don't give up what? You might say never quit, but you better say what to never quit. But statements like don't give up, never give up. That's what keeps you in mental, physical, spiritual slavery by saying this stuff. And you have no idea what you're saying and you're not giving it a direction. So the mycelium are listening. Don't give up. But they don't want to give up. You got to give it up. To get to the next level, you got to give up the level below it. And you can't get on an ego trip because no matter how high you go, there's people higher than you. And no matter how low you go, there's people lower than you. So you have to have this understanding, overstanding, understanding that you have to be in a loving place. And in a loving place is you work each day at setting that circle on fire with desire and have a goal. You have to be goal-minded. That means there has to be a treasure map. You need to know your prime directive. And a lot of people say, well, Dr. B, I keep getting off and, you know, I don't want to get the herbs right now. I said, well, go get the medicine music. I said, I've got medicine music on the track on the website that you can download that keeps you on point. This medicine takes you on an odyssey. We're using the sounds of nature. We got the sounds of water. And it's not some water that I went and sampled. I actually went to different rivers and lakes and recorded rain and crickets from all over. Me and my partner, we traveled just to record these sounds. And then we put music and instruments from all over the world in this tapestry to help people elevate their consciousness through music. So what we're doing at this time is we're looking for 1,000 people who would like to come together in a sacred situation. We can't tell everybody. You can't be out talking. Sacred. I'm down with the sacred societies, that ones that were doing something good for the world. You know, a sister called me, man, when I was on your show the first time. And she said she worked for a place that turned blood into medicine. Now, I ain't going to say no more because I can't say too much about it. They do what? Turn human blood into medicine. Do you know half the medicines you take and you don't even know what it is? Half of it is placebos. Sugar pill or water pill. A water pill. How you took water and dried it? Yeah, they got dry water. You're dehydrated. You take that, you just get dry mouth. But you believe in the doctor so much. You believe in the leader of your group so much that it actually happens. You crystallize your imagination. So my point is, why don't we imagine something that can really help us all and cut through a lot of this ego and separation and judgment and really create something new. Let's find this level of love. And to get to this level of love is not simple, because the love that we know of is not actual, true, factual love. The mycelium network is true love. And love sometimes has to take something out. You may have to kill a part of yourself, put yourself in a basket, right? And send part of yourself down the river and you got to let go of some of your old ways and your old self. We're all doing it. Even I am not there. We're all working on getting there. This is a working process. So don't put yourself down when you fail. A lot of people say, well, I slipped. Dr. B, I was supposed to fast for 3 weeks and I only made it 3 days. Well, did you celebrate the 3 days? Well, no, because I failed. No. Had you ever fasted for 3 days before? Well, no. Well, celebrate the 3 days. Well, I only wanted to celebrate if I made it 2 weeks. You made it 3 days. There's people on the planet could never even do that. Celebrate what you have. If you got a bowl of rice, celebrate that you have a bowl of rice. There's people that don't have a bowl of rice. There's people on the world going through all kinds of pain and discord. So if you're feeling good today, be like a lighthouse and send energy out to everyone around you. Send some love out. Slap that stuff out your mouth with that foolishness where you just got to look at and stop talking about what they're doing. This is a big issue, Brother Rich. Folks want to talk about what they are doing and the conspiracy. The conspiracy is the one between your conscious and your subconscious. The conspiracy is between your higher self and your lower self. The conspiracy is between your gut and your brain. The conspiracy, right, is between you and the mycelium network and why you can't get on that angle of light to get up out of here. You got people that are doing amazing things. A lot of people have changed the way they've eaten. A lot of people have done the alchemy to let go of dis-ease and discord. A lot of people are getting rid of their parasites, just not the physical ones, the mental ones, the spiritual ones. There's people making groups right now and creating and going and investing, buying gold and silver and land together as a group. This is an amazing time. Let's stop talking about all the problems and let's talk about solutions and who's going to be down with solutions. Brother Rich and I, when we talk, we're talking about some solutions. When you start talking to people and the conversation is all downhill and it's all about the pain and the misery of the world and what the reptilians got going on, who's the reptile and who's not, who's the ant people. And you know what I'm saying? We don't realize that those beings that you say that are disagreeable and evil, like you talking about them. You're the one selling it. You're the commercial.
So you the commercial.
You are their commercial and they love it. So elevationtime.com is the website. You know, we've got a lot of different things up there. I want to thank all of you who have gone to the website, crashed the website. The website crashed 2.5 times. But there's a lot of folks who are ready for this next wave. And there's many people like Brother Rich and like myself and other people who are actually creating the new world by letting go of the old world. For people who are looking to really get that pineal happening, the Platinum Life Elixir, the product I made with Dick Gregory, helps to break, right? Excuse me. Helps to break the electrical connection between you and your disagreeable self. Let me get my tea.
You sent me that one? The one you made with Dick Gregory? You ain't sent me that one, man. How you do me like that, Dr.
I think I did, bro. Look in the box. You don't see the platinum? Go get the box.
Hold on, y'all. Let me get this box before we get out of here. I want to show y'all something. Give me a second.
Go get that box. I'm going to keep talking about it. But the Platinum Life helps to pull heavy metals out of your body. It helps to polish the pineal. But what it really does that's amazing is it helps to repair your telomeres. Your telomeres are the antennas and the caps at the end of your genes, at the end of your chromosomes. When that cap begins to wear off and those little strings called telomeres, which are antennas, when they shorten, your life shortens. Your body doesn't heal as fast because it's getting the message that you don't care and you're disrespectful to yourself and everything. And it says, we're ready to get up out of here. So it shortens what? Your lifespan. You got to have a different life expectancy. So when people take the platinum, which I have seen here, I'm going to take a little bit. When you have a different life expectancy, Woo! Yeah, see, something starts happening. The fire comes online. You understand what I'm saying? Whoo! We might not be able to hang up now, Brother Rich. Platinum has gold, iridium, palladium, right? And iridium is your time clock. That's what the issue in Haiti or Haiti. What do you think? Why do you think they're doing this to those people down there in Haiti? It's because they got the biggest iridium mines, which is the time clock. It's an element that keeps time. Iridium. And when you take iridium, it repairs your time clock. Gold, platinum, iridium, palladium, these very rare elements in a monoatomic state, they connect your consciousness to the original consciousness, and it fires up the pineal. That's the platinum. It also helps you grow young instead of growing old. You see? The mushroom tonic. We were talking about mushrooms. Where is it? I think I forgot to bring it in here. But the mushroom,
the master mushroom tonic. I got that.
Man, that master mushroom tonic. You want to connect to the mycelium network. And see, a lot of people have mushroom products, but the mycelium are very fragile. You can't just boil them in some water and expect to get all the ingredients. Some of them they can only be boiled to or cooked to a certain level. Some of them you have to do a water extract. Some of them you have to use a certain type of alcohol. You may have to use alcohol made from coconuts or something. There's different types of alcohol. Then you may have to also, preserve it in triatomic alcohol. These mushrooms that we're using are very rare mushrooms. Some of them you recognize, some you don't. But they're infused with these 5 plants. Those plants grow where those mushrooms are. They have a symbiotic relationship. So that mushroom tonic looks at your DNA, and it knows how to differentiate between your DNA and foreign DNA. That's the mushroom tonic.
You ain't send me the platinum, man. I can't believe you did me like that, brother.
Okay, well, I'm gonna have to send you a platinum. I'm gonna send you 2 bottles.
Yeah, please do.
2 bottles. I got another platinum that
I got. Let me just show the people. I got I don't know if y'all can see it, but I got a whole the whole body paracleanse
total
program.
Elevated. You got the elevated total body paracleanse program. 28 days.
Some liver powder. So what this liver powder? What's this for again? This is like
that helps to rejuvenate your liver, your kidneys, and your spleen, which are basically one organ. They're not separate.
They're not separate.
And if you don't, detoxify them and rejuvenate them with certain elements, then you can't detoxify the body. You see, the liver, that's the liver. Without that, you don't live. You see, that is the liver has thousands of functions in the body. It's almost like a heart. It's your second heart.
The liver, huh?
The liver. And the liver, the kidneys, and the spleen are all connected in one network, which, Western world divided them, but they're really one network. And actually, the pancreas is in that network also.
Dr. B, fellas, Dr. B sent me some Rise and Shine. He trying to get me to have some more babies out here, y'all.
Man, be careful.
Rise and Shine, fellas.
I tried to tell you, be careful with that one. Now, that one is for the flagpole. See, that one you will be rising and shining. Even the next day, you will rise and shine. Now, a lot of us are having flagpole issues, man, because of the stress that's going on in the world. And the body's like, look, but we ain't got no time to be trying to do all that. And if we do, we just going to do it half-assed because so for men, that one really helps you.
You sent me something called Timeless Man. This is another section. What's this one here?
Okay. Timeless Man is working on the male hormones. It's working on testosterone. And it is also working on just rejuvenating the male system. Right. The Rise and Shine is for instant action.
Okay.
That one is the one that says we got to be busy and ready in 15 minutes. That's tooth powder right there.
Yeah, this is tooth powder, yeah.
The tooth powder is, once you're getting rid of parasites throughout your system, you have to make sure that you also get rid of them in your mouth because that's where they go. See, they go to where like if you're working on certain areas of the body, they travel. There's parasites in your mouth. And when you're detoxing, you can taste them. And even when people wake up in the morning, you have bad breath. What do you think that bad breath is? All these bacteria and things are in your mouth. So what that does is it helps to get rid of the parasites in your mouth. You have to detoxify every part of the body and rejuvenate every part of the body at one time in sync. So most parasite cleansers are just dealing with the colon, man, and the digestive tract. What they call the systemic parasites, that's what my specialty is. They live in the liver, they live in the kidneys, in the spleen, in the brain. The toxoplasma is in the brain. And you got Helicobacter pylori that's traveling. It's like a nomad. That one right there is like, that's a whole subject, just Helicobacter pylori, the space bug. Toxoplasma, the space bug. Agaricus is the one that most people who are hooked on sugar have, agaricus. It also is the same one that most people hooked on cocaine have. Certain things that you're hooked on, there's certain parasites that are looking for that. Now, interesting enough, if your body was in balance, the mycelium would take care of that. But because your system is so far out of balance, the parasites start running the show. And the mycelium is like, well, that's what you want because you keep eating toxins, hanging out with toxic people, laying down with toxic people, being in toxic arguments, toxic environments. So you must like toxicity. And the mycelium are in no way going to try to run the show. You're the captain. You're telling them, this is what I want. I want more drama. You're mad. You sitting up mad with the politics and what's going on in the news. The 6 o'clock news is hanging you. It says he wants more of that. Let him have it. Let her have it. It's not controlling you. That is you, because it's a co-creation. So a lot of people say, well, if I take mushrooms, I won't have parasites. I didn't say that. The mushrooms are a whole different thing. By taking the master mushroom tonic or something like that, those mushrooms, like the chaga mushrooms, and there's different ones that have, different, levels of detoxification and balance. Those things, because of the level of energy, what they call the beta glucans, which are special sugars, they begin to fortify different systems of the body different ways. And there's many, many, many different types of mushrooms that do different things different ways. You see? So the parasites are different. We don't know of too many mushrooms that'll fight the parasites. Not of themselves. In fact, the difference between our total body program and our elevated total body program is that the total body program is dealing with your average systemic parasites. The elevated, which is the one you have, is dealing with the super bugs. A lot of those bugs were made through bioweapons and warfare, chemical warfare, things like that. Some of them came from other realms at certain times. They're the super bugs. So that program is dealing with that level, and it has the mushroom tonic in it.
Dr. B, I'm curious. I want your opinion on something. I was in Whole Foods and I picked this up. Let me stretch my screen out. I don't know what's your opinion. You think this is a waste of time? I was in Whole Food and prebiotic fiber.
Okay, it might be. I need to know what's in it.
Okay. Do you want me to read the ingredients?
Yes.
Organic acacia fiber.
Good.
Organic orange peel.
Good.
Organic baobab.
Good.
Organic apple peel.
Whew.
And organic cranberry seed.
It's powerful.
Powerful? Okay. All right.
That's good. And see, the prebiotics, right, are different than probiotics. Yeah. Prebiotics are the food that probiotics eat.
Right.
The certain sugars that the probiotics need to eat. They need food. So like the plantain banana, right? The plantain banana has a sugar that your body can't break down. Even though it tastes sweet. That's why they eat it in the Caribbean. They're very intelligent. A lot of these cultures. That prebiotic or that sugar feeds the probiotic. The same thing with like yams. Yams have a sugar that feeds the probiotics. Coconut, the coconut, the meat of coconut. There's a sugar in there that your body can't break down too well. It becomes the bedding, it becomes the nest, it becomes the food for the probiotic. So just taking probiotics isn't enough. You have to have prebiotics. And certain foods are prebiotics or what they call fiber. Now, most people know of fiber, they use wheat fiber. They hear about how bread's got wheat fiber. Nothing from the wheat plant is healthy. Nothing. Wheat bran, even wheatgrass.
Yeah, Dr. Sebi used to, yeah.
Man, I was in the store the other day. The lady said, "Hi, would you like some wheatgrass? It's very healthy." I said, "No, thank you. You should try." I said, "Lady, no, thank you." And then she started breaking this down, trying to get deep. I said, "Lady, let me tell you something. That stuff right there is so hybrid and so crossbred and so acid. This is why when you drink it and you drink too much, you get sick." Do you have any barley grass? Why I never heard of barley grass? Barley grass is the one that if you're melanated, that gives you the energy. Wheatgrass does help if you are Caucasian.
Interesting.
The melanin factor is deep. See, I deal with melanin first. If you understand the melanocytes and the mycobacteria and the mycelium network work together perfectly.
So this is why it's so dangerous to say we're all the same. Because it's a very dangerous
hybrids.
concept.
All it's about, we're black and we're Africans. Let me tell you something. This stuff been mixed and co-mixed. Even the Africans ain't Africans. Where they get that name? There's people living on that. You know how big that continent is? They never met each other. They don't look the same. Every color, every hue. Languages that are so far apart. So what do you mean? This lady said she does African dance. I said, well, what kind of, African dance? I said, well, how many dances is that? She said, well, she named 3 dances. I said, well, that ain't African dance. How many people are there in what you call in Africa? You're doing a whole lot of dancing, lady. Well, you know what I mean. No, I don't know what you mean. Because language is very important. We have to be, exact. No, I don't take wheatgrass. And if you're taking it, it's working for you, great. But wheatgrass, anything from wheat, your body has to go to war to try to pull something out of it. Now, barley grass, there's very few people that have the barley grass. It's amazing because it just slips right into your cells. You see, spirulina is another one. It goes right into your cells. You see?
What about chlorella?
Chlorella goes right into your cells. And chlorella is like a detoxifier, but it's very mild. It's looking for radioactive waste. Chlorella is looking for radioactive waste. Did you know that? What was that? Where they had where they just have the nuclear thing over in Japan? What was it? What was the place called?
Fukushima.
Fukushima.
Yeah.
Do you know that the radiation in Fukushima disappeared? Remember, it was leaking and was all in the ocean.
Right.
They said it was going to hit the whole world. It stopped suddenly.
Yeah.
They went inside. The Geiger counters aren't going tick, 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 tick. And there was black mold and mushrooms growing all throughout it. There are mushrooms. There is mycobacterium. Well, and that's a combination that eat radiation. They using now oyster mushrooms in toxic waste dumps to convert the soil back to balance. Oyster mushrooms. That's why you got to be careful where you get your oyster mushrooms. Because some of them, they use them in a toxic waste dump. You know what I'm saying? They got, they're converting toxins. But if you can get you some good organic oyster mushrooms, they do that in your body. They look for toxic things. And you get those fried oyster mushrooms, man. You can make them taste like chicken in case you're looking to have that flavor. Make sure you're using, avocado oil or, pure olive oil. And your olive oil has to be in a glass green container. Get that expensive one. That's like $30 for half a pint. I'm exaggerating, but and that one, that green, because when light hits olive oil, it turns it rancid. It rots it right away. Light.
You say that again. When what?
When light hits the olive oil. Even the fluorescent lights. The fluorescent light that's in your grocery store is poisoning the food in your grocery store. It's pulsing 60 times every second. It's a pulse. And it's a plasma inside. Do you know, in the beginning, they would never use fluorescent lights in a school?
Yeah.
Why do they use fluorescent lights in the school? Because that flickering, sending a pulse wave at 60 times, 60 hertz, 60 pulses a second, dumbs you down. It takes you into a state where you become a drone. It's all about memory. It's not about anything where it's creative. It's not about intuition. They made that choice in America. They also made the choice to make grades and tests, which shuts down your creativity and your uniqueness. Because you got to get a golden star, and you got to get an A. And what's wrong with you, Johnny? You got a D, and you got this. I remember I got that F in algebra. I was so happy when I went home. My father was like, well, what do you mean? What do you mean? I said, well, they kicked me out of the class. I failed. I was happy. He was pissed. He said, why are you happy? I said, because I ain't got to go back. I don't need to know nothing about no unknown numbers. I got enough issues with the numbers I know. Unknown number. If I got $100,000 of cash in here, I got that. I don't need to know what I don't have. You spending all this time and energy in columns and destruction and math and division and all this to get to the unknown number. If I was going to be a rocket scientist and work for the Jet Propulsion Lab or NASA or biochemist, yes. But for what I was doing in my life, that was not good for me. So I had to fail it. That's what I'm saying. You got to have this whole thing. You got to get rid of this thing of don't give up. Some things you have to give up. But the flickering lights, you got to get even the lights they gave to everybody recently. They said they were energy saving lights. Those fluorescent lights, they got that weird color. It's bluish.
Yeah.
Man, why would you give the people them? They gave them to everybody years ago. You remember? Yeah. They came to door to door. They ain't never gave you nothing free. When they start giving everybody something free,
she gave me a headache. I used them one time, man. Them things is dangerous, man.
Bro, what that is doing, that's you talking about programming, but at least get the LEDs, and they even have the full spectrum LEDs. They even have full spectrum glasses. Like these glasses that I'm wearing are full spectrum glasses. That's why they look this way. Mm-hmm. First of all, they're blocking the blue light from the computer. You can see it reflecting back. Mm-hmm. Gets on some people's nerves, right? Mm-hmm. But also they're letting in all the light. I only have one pair because somebody from Japan gave. They have them in Japan, full spectrum lights to let all the light in because your eyes are supposed to be picking up all the spectrum of light in your environment, which shoots through your pupil, which is the student, hits the back of your eye, which is your brain. Your eyes are the only exposed part of your brain. That is your brain. That's brain tissue. It goes straight to the pineal gland. And it goes straight into what they call the visual cortex so that you can expand and open up. But when you wear glasses, if they're not full spectrum, they're broken. They're breaking off the natural frequencies that you need to be the most you could be. You see? So one, if you're using a computer and you're using glasses, then at least get the ones that block the blue light. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Then if you can find a full spectrum glass or glasses, that would be great. And also get, like in here, I have full spectrum, lights throughout my house. In my houses or wherever I'm at, in the lab, we have full spectrum lights, and they were used to using the LEDs because the LEDs are light emitting diodes, and they're not putting out heat, and they're not burning electricity the way certain things are. Diodes, right, are converting electricity from one state to another. So if you have a diode in an electrical circuit, if the circuit is positive, you put it through a diode, it becomes negative, or vice versa. Or if you want to take something from direct current, which is DC, and you want to change it into AC or alternating current, which is what we have in our walls, right? Then you've got to use a group of diodes, and you've got to use step up and step down transformers. Now, all this is based on your body. Certain parts of your body, certain cells are diodes. They're converting things from one form to another. They're doing the alchemy. They work with the mycelium that is your tissue to create the outcome that you're moving towards. Diodes, which are crystals, like a lot of people have crystals, you know what I'm saying? Your phone is full of crystals. And, this guy told me, he said, well, crystals really don't work. And he got on his phone. I said, well, wait, somebody called you? He said, yeah. I said, what were you using? I said, that's all crystals. Mm-hmm. The whole phone is made of crystals. All your electronics is crystals. So don't tell me they don't work. But a lot of people, we want to have a crystal and hold a crystal. And that's good because they do have an effect on us, especially if you have certain crystals. Some of them you just have just because they're beautiful and they still have a certain energy. But guess what? Your body is crystalline too. So what Dick Gregory was saying, Dick Gregory said, B, let's come up with something that we could take that energizes the natural crystalline state of our body. It energizes the melanocytes. It energizes the black gold within us. And that's when we came up with this Platinum Life. And I apologize, brother, we didn't put it. My shipping person didn't put it in the package. So I will send you one, brother. I'll send you a special one. In fact, we have two. We have the regular platinum, which is helping to crystallize your outcome in life. And there's a new one which has CBD in it. It's not CBD oil because most people can't even absorb the oil CBD. It's a whole trick. You can't even absorb it because of what kind of oil is. Where do they get it? They're usually using rancid oil. It's olive oil that's been sitting out in big containers, 50-gallon drums, and they put a little bit of CBD. And a lot of the CBD today is not natural. A lot of your cannabis plants are not natural. They've been hybridized and crossbred, and they're trying to bring up the amount of CBD. You know, something that might have like 19% CBD. They got plants with 30% CBD. You got plants with so much THC that it is a drug, and it kills the soil. It actually is killing the soil, and they keep worrying about. You know, when you go to the places where they're growing, they're always worried about fungus. It's the biggest thing they're worried about. They said, well, you know, there's this mold. This mold, man, we got to spray the plants because this mold. I said, well, that mold is a fungus, a mycelium that's attempting to kill the plant because the plant is not natural and that plant is changing the vibrational rate of everything. It's a killer. They were like, no, B, no. What we do is we spray such and such. I said, listen to me. The mold is growing on your weed because it is unnatural to this environment. It is a killer. It's a murderer. It is necrotizing the tissues. There's certain things that necrotize or tear tissue, like the parasite called Necator americanus. It necrotizes tissue. That's also known as the flesh-eating bacteria that a lot of people have. Do you know about the flesh-eating bacteria, bro?
No, talk to me about it. What's going on with it? I've heard some things, but I need to hear what your take on it.
The flesh-eating bacteria, most people who've eaten meat, even if you stopped a long time ago, is still dormant in your cells. Mm-hmm. When you go through certain levels of trauma, it comes online. And it pops up in the morning as a little pimple, itching. By afternoon, your whole arm has turned black and it's dead. God if you don't, if they don't cut your arm off, when you get to the hospital, they're going to pull out an axe before they can even numb you up. They got to cut your arm off, and it is jumping. You can see it. Please look this up, y'all. Necator americanus, or the flesh-eating bacteria. Mm-hmm. It will eat a person all the way down to the bone in 12 hours. The first person to get it was a black police officer in the 70s in Philadelphia. When he got to the hospital, half his body was bones and the other half was flesh, still alive. They couldn't even do anything. They didn't even know what it was. That's when they located it and realized this is a special necrotizing, which means flesh tearing and eating bacteria. It's called Necator americanus. Notice it's americanus. It's because the way they process food in America is so deplorable, especially red meat and, you know, fish, not fish, but, you know, chickens and turkeys and goats. Necator americanus. Please, I mean, you got to look this up, man. Look it up now. It eats people to the bone. There was a lady that got it, and it was in her hand. They were watching her hand just turn black, and tissue is falling off. She got to the hospital, and this is a client that I knew. Not the lady, but her sister was a client. She says when they saw what it was, they held the lady down, pulled out a meat cleaver, and cut her arm off. I'm like, what? They didn't number. They said it can't because it's moving too fast. It's moving in stealth, and it's jumping. You can see it just tearing the flesh, moving fast. And the quicker you attempt to get rid of it, it moves faster. It's very conscious. Necator americanus, the flesh-eating bacteria. It's a superbug parasite. A lot of people have it. They just don't know it. And they keep it quiet. This is like one of those things, man. They're not going to have this on the news. They tell you that if you eat a piece of beef or some of that, stuff that they got sitting out there that's dead in the back of the grocery store, that it's probably got Necator americanus, and a lot of the cows and chickens and pigs they just come to the farm and it's just bones. I don't know how I got into that, but anyway.
Shit, yeah, that was a tough one to listen to, man. God damn.
I'm telling you the truth. You need to go do your own research. Don't believe Dr. B, because I'm saying I only went to college for 2.5 weeks.
Hey, Doc, we about to get out of here, but before I do, I'm gonna take probably about 2 questions from the people. They've been asking questions. I'm sorry I can't get to your questions today. Y'all seen we've been on for 2 hours already. We're about to get out of here. I'm gonna just start from the bottom here, and Doc will be back soon. This is the 3rd week. We're gonna do something special soon. I already got an idea in my head, so something special is coming soon. But we about to get out of here. Let's take a couple of questions. Let's get to this last super chat question. Can Doc talk about the lambda phage bacteria?
I don't know about that particular bacteria. I don't know about that one right there. There's a lot of them I have not studied. It's so many types. But because it's a phage, right? A phage is something, there's 2 types. They have a existence in 2 different places. Like, what's the parasite? There's another parasite, a superbug called, I can't grab the name of it, but it's constantly changing as you look at it. It's going through phases. When you talk about phases and phages and things like that, it has to do with the way it lives. I don't know about that one right there. I'm going to have to look it up. I'm learning every day, so thank you for that.
Indeed.
So,
somebody kept asking, what's the benefit of looking at the sun? That's a simple one.
Looking at it at the wrong time, it'll make you blind. If you find yourself sun gazing and you know how to do it, and your naked feet are on the ground, that light is going through your eyes into your pineal, straight down your vagus nerve or your central nervous system to your solar plexus. So it's heating up your triple burner or your solar plexus and bringing the light directly in you. A lot of folks have altered states of consciousness because they're sun gazing. I don't sun gaze. You know why? I stargaze. Stargaze trumps sun gazing for me, because I am now bringing in the information from all the stars. I'm in pure consideration mode. A lot of our true original spiritual practices were done at night because the sun is so strong. Now, if you are getting benefit from your sun gazing, then do it. But also try stargazing and bringing in the information. If you can even be out sometime and lay on the ground naked, especially if you're cleansing, you're doing like, one of the cleanse programs, whoever's, or you're detoxifying, or you've got a lot of chlorophyll, your spirulina, you're eating green plants, you've got a lot of, you're taking in a lot of, minerals, then these light sources are illuminating the minerals. Like magnesium. Magnesium is a feminine liquid or feminine mineral that controls hormones. The amount of magnesium you have has a lot to do with how your hormones communicate with each other, because hormones are chemical messengers. So using these types of gazing, whether it's sun gazing or star gazing, it does a conversion to the parts of your body that are minerals or parts of your body that are emitting or creating biophotons. And there's biophotons coming from the plasma from the sun or from the stars that your body can use for more life force. If you find your sun gazing and it's taking energy from you, you feel tired. You don't feel like you're having any type of a, ascended type vibration. You're just doing it because the group says to do it. Then I wouldn't do it. And that's what happened to me. When I used to sun gaze, I was through for days. I'd go lay out. I didn't understand it. My teacher at the time said, "Why are you doing it?" I said, "Well, I'm part of this group." And he said, "Stop doing it. Get out of the group. Try stargazing." Stargazing is off the chain, especially when you find Sirius and other stars. And by the way, right now, the North Star, right, is no longer the North Star because the whole Earth has twisted and turned, and it's slanting a different way on its axis, which means everything is changed. So even the light that is coming from the sun is bending. Light travels in waves. It doesn't travel in straight lines, but it has to bend through the atmosphere. So the sun we're looking at now, and I'm going to say this, and the sun we're looking at now is not the same sun. That's a different sun. Some of y'all know this too. The sun changed or was changed since the year 2012. That's a different sun. The sun actually changes. It gives birth to a different thing. Now, some people say some beings are changing the sun. That may be. I'm telling you that sun that's out there right now is not the same sun, which means you're not the same person. But saying that to say if it's working for you, do it. But some of the things that we have done in the past don't work anymore. I would ask you to go outside and, stargaze. Try it. Take your shoes and socks off. If you could go get naked, go lay on the ground. Make sure you got enough chlorophyll, green plants, and drink some pure water. Real spring water that's actually been, going over rocks and crystals and bubbling, and it's not in plastic. And try that. I think what you're going to do is get a download that you never got, especially right now when we're in this cosmic wave that they call the Lion's Gate. Got another question?
Now, leave your contact information before we get out of here, brother.
All right. My the website is elevationtime.com, elevationtime.com. And it's Docta, D-O-C-T-A-H, Docta B, Sirius, S-I-R-I-U-S, on Facebook and also on IG. That's how you can contact me. This Saturday, we're doing part 3 of our class, which is a serious opportunity. And we'll be giving you some of the tools that you can use right now to take on the opportunity of this new world, which is birthing itself right now in each of us. You see, that'll be this Saturday at 11 a.m. till about 3, Eastern Standard Time. Last week we had it's like the class was full. It was amazing. And a lot came through. And, people are using that. Folks are calling me and they're just saying, "Man, I just tried one of those techniques, Dr. B, and it's changed everything." You don't have to change, a big change, sometimes a small change. You see, if I was giving you a map from Atlanta to Brooklyn, and I said, "This is the map," but I change it 1 degree. If I change that map 1 degree, you're not going to end up in Brooklyn. You might end up in Philly. You might end up in Ohio, because a small change, a 1 degree change over time becomes a huge change.
Right.
So if you shift one thing, and this is what we're attempting to teach in these classes, small things and increments that can help you move towards your goal and setting a goal and holding on to it. So I would like to thank everybody for being here at this time. I would like to thank you all for being a part of this shift. And those of us who are looking to vibrate at that vibration of 500 and affect 750,000, thank you for that. Let's come together. Let's work together. Let's throw away our differences, you see, and be in oneness, at least for 1 minute, if only for one night. I want to thank you, Brother Rich, for an amazing time. I mean, this energizes me. I like this. If you'd like to do it again, just let me know. I'm here. If you have questions, you know how to find me on the internet. And yes, get on the email list and cleanse your body systemically. Never mind the little baby bugs. Let's go for the superbugs and be crystal clear. Love yourself. It's elevation time. And look, man, half that baggage is not yours. Why are you carrying it? Didn't they ask you at the airport if that baggage is yours? Did somebody give you some baggage to carry? Huh? And you got it and you're carrying it, struggling with it? That's not your baggage. It might be your parents' baggage, your family's baggage, the group, your political belief system, your religion. That's their baggage. Let the dead bury their dead. Let the mycelium network rejuvenate you. It's ready and waiting for you to give the orders. You're the captain. You're the capstone. You are the captain, the CEO. So thank you very much. It's beautiful to be here, and be phenomenal. Do something different. Love yourself. And I'll see you again soon. Travel light. That's all there is light.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, family, for tuning in. We'll see you next time. I got something special I'm going to do with the brother real soon. I'm gonna call you Dr. B tomorrow and talk to you about it. But family, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you visit the brother's website, elevationtime.com. And on that note, I'll probably see you tomorrow, family. All right?